Look at that. Running away. Very interesting formation. What's up guys, welcome to episode 2 of my Shimazu legendary campaign on Shogun 2 Total War. My name is Hawkwood Online, let's get into it. Last turn we captured Osumi, or last episode we captured Osumi, we beat their little force here and we started building up our plan. Gonna end turn because this is still the first turn of the campaign, we've already gotten a decent start. Well, let's see what happens in turn 2.
Ashikaga provide excellent defense against enemy cavalry charges, but their tight formations leave them vulnerable to missile troops and skilled infantry units.
Very true, very true. We've got mounting unrest in Osumi, that's planned though. We do want that to happen. We've got a new quest to research Way of the Sword, and we get a Shimazu Katana Samurai as a reward. I'll hold off doing that. I do definitely want to get Way of the Sword and start getting some more experienced swordsmen, but first we want to build everything we need to upgrade the armor on those guys. Alrighty, so we are going on a defensive position here. We want to intentionally let a little rebellion occur, so we don't want any soldiers in our settlement just yet. We'll put our second general in here because he is the he is going to make sure that the troops we recruit from this province have a slightly longer movement range. Like I said, I'm just spamming these Yari Ashigaru because they're cheap, they're effective. We just need numbers early on in the game, and then once we've got decent upgrade, our buildings built up for decent upgrades on our Katana Samurai, that's when I'll start building those. It would be nice to have them early game so that I can get a quick advantage on the battlefield, but they take 2 turns to recruit and a lot more money, so I think the numbers in the early game are a bit more useful, especially because when you're capturing settlements, this public order, it works on a basis of not of exact numbers of how many soldiers you have, but it actually works on a basis of how many individual units do you have sitting in the town. So, you know, this 34-man unit here sitting in this town gives +1 to Garrison, which is the same impact as 200 men sitting there from the Yari Ashigaru. So, you know, it might as well, you know, you may as well build a lot of low upkeep units that can fill the spot easily. Alrighty. So next turn we will have a rebellion from here. Still -6 unhappiness there, which is fine with me. I am going to recruit some more units right up to the max. We've spent all our money again, which is a bit dangerous, spending all our money and not having any upkeep or economic growth, but I am going to do it so that I can quickly take on Hyuga, defeat them, and then start marching the other way and get a quick capture of Hyuga, start building up my number of provinces so that I have a decent source of income just from number of provinces rather than quality of provinces. I'm tempted to... This province is really average. Like, it doesn't have any special buildings, it doesn't even have a dock, a port, so it's really not very valuable, so I'm tempted to capture it and actually turn it into a vassal, which means they give me half their income, and like I can kind of diplomatically push them around. They're basically told what to do, but the main benefit of it is that your daimyo gets +1 honor for every 1 vassal he creates, up to 3 vassals. These guys will probably betray me at some point, but that's totally fine because I want them to eventually get out of my way and I'll just recapture Hyuga. But for the time being, it'll mean they're very weak, they're cooperative, and I won't have to deal with the bad public order. I can start moving my army straight away towards Hyuga to take out another province. Eventually, what might even happen is if I convert to Christianity and I have them surrounded on all directions with units, or with monks or missionaries rather, or with churches that convert the nearby territories. Eventually they might even have a situation where they have a Christian revolt that defeats their army, and then I won't have to even worry about declaring war on them or betraying them. I can just move in and take the rebel force out and take Hyuga for myself. But we'll see what happens. More likely what's going to happen is these guys will betray me at some point and I will be totally okay with that. It'll probably happen before I've captured the rest of Kyushu even, If I leave Asumi undefended, they'll feel tempted to attack it. By that point, hopefully, I will have gone all the way around and captured everything else, and then I can just march in and stomp them out. So that's the plan there. We've got our units recruiting. We don't have any more money, so this turn might be a bit of a quiet one. Nothing else really to speak of there. That's still researching. Yeah, let's end it and see what happens there. No clans have been wiped out in that first turn, which is a bit surprising.
Ideal for whittling down the enemy before battle is joined. These troops are best kept at range and will suffer heavy losses if engaged in melee.
Word, word, word. A rebellion! Researching our next technology. We get 1,000 gold as a reward for building a trade port, which is really good. So I actually, if I build this for 1,800, I actually get a boost of a bit of money there. What I'm going to do now, you can see this guy has a little cross sword up the top. It means he's Commissioner for Warfare. So at level 1, he gets -2 cost of recruiting all units and -2 to special ability cooldown time for any units in his army. But I'm kind of done recruiting units, I think, for a little while, so I might consider changing him to Commissioner for Development, because you can see he gets -2 to cost of construction of buildings across all provinces. Kind of useful. Later on in the game, as he's got more levels, he becomes more effective at doing this, so I might consider doing that this turn. But more importantly, we have a little rebel army to deal with. So let's throw our army together. And in fact, they're not in range, so what do we got? We've got these guys, and we got these guys. We've got more men than them. They have a 1-star general, we have a 1-star general, so there's no big advantage there, but we definitely have more units, and we should be able to wipe these guys out first go. They have a lot of archers, so I probably, compared to me at least, so I want to rush them pretty quickly. If I can get into combat with them in trees, then I will do that. In Shogun 2, trees actually are an important tactical resource. Like, on the battlefield, you actually want to hug trees. Oh, man. Okay, well, spoke too soon. No trees to speak of. But yeah, trees are super useful because enemy missile units firing into trees, if your men are hidden in those trees, they really don't do nearly as much damage as they do if they're out in the open. So something to really think about in this game is your positioning, your tree cover. It can always give you a massive advantage. However, what's likely to happen, since these guys are defending, Shimazu, must be a cousin of ours, betraying us. So if this rebel army is probably going to sit up on that hill there, which means that if I run quickly into there, I might be able to get some light tree cover, but there's really not that much cover here. Alright, well, I'm gonna group these guys and do Cloud Dragon formation. I like that one. Missile units up front. I turned them to loose formation, so that first volley... Are they here? Oh, wait, what are they doing? They did not spawn where I expected them to. Oh, they're going here. I'm okay with that, because then my approach will have tree cover. It's a big old hill, so I'm gonna have to be careful with my engagements, because these guys could get a bit tired running up, but at least I have some initial tree cover as I approach, and those 4 units of Bow Ashigaru won't do too much damage. We want to be careful about the enemy cavalry in case they charge into my archers or get a flank onto my generals. We don't want them doing too much damage. But this is not terrible. Okay. Alright, they are just in missile range. Interesting that they're not moving their others up. My guys are in loose formation, they're hidden in trees, so the enemy missile units will have a pretty hard time doing much damage to them, but what is likely to happen is that they will ignore my own archers and they'll start moving to fight my to start firing arrows on my infantry. But what we'll do is just slowly slowly overtake. So far only 2 casualties, or actually no, we took a volley here. Not too many casualties from those 4 units of archers so far, pretty solid start, but we are going to want to run.
Our general is in grave danger, my lord!
And then we got to get ready to toggle spear wall, Yari wall formation just before we come into contact, because like I said, it makes them super effective. So shift 3 when we're ready. Just about to make contact. There we go, into formation. You can see they got a lot slower, but in fact I'll take these guys out so that they make contact a bit closer. Ooh, morale is already a bit shaky. They are peasants after all. Gotta expect them to be a bit average, but we'll get our general over here, one of our generals, to boost their morale. These guys have taken a lot of hits from those archers already, and they are actually fighting at a funny angle. But they are only fighting against bow Ashigaru, so I'll get my general involved on that side. I'm gonna get some running going. They're already routing. Pretty shocking performance from these guys. Let's get into the cavalry, take them out of this formation. My general, I don't want him to fight the light cavalry. I don't mind him fighting the general, potentially getting some experience. We did take a hell of a lot of casualties on this corner unit here, but that's okay on that flank unit, but still did a decent job. No severe casualties anywhere else, just this guy. It'll take a bit of time to replenish, but it's not a big deal. Overall, we did a decent job of it, and we are going to chase them down the hill. We did kill their general there at the end, which is really good. Look at that. Running away in a very interesting formation, streamlined. Oh, they changed direction there. They don't do a very good job. The AI, like the unit pathing on this is pretty average. They don't do a very good job of that, so you tend to have to really direct your guys while they chase routing enemy units, but that's okay. Should at least be able to chop this unit to bits before they run off the battlefield. Only 8 survivors left. Oh! Very angry slash. Must have been some other units that ran in a different direction, but... Oh, is that them there? Yeah, they got away. That's okay. We have some survivors, but very clear victory. No complaints from me. And they definitely have some survivors from that battle, so we can fight them again, get more experience on my daimyo once again. I know I've mentioned that probably a dozen times already, but having lots of little battles is super beneficial to leveling up your guys, and it takes a lot of work to get a general to level 6 nice and early in the game, so it always pays to get him in as much combat as possible, even if they're tiny little battles. Giving him more movement range is super useful. You want your armies early game especially to be... Ooh, these are both terrible. Plus 20% to the effectiveness of the rally, plus 10 to diplomatic relations. Once I switch to Katana Samurai, my general will have like my army will have pretty high morale, and I won't really benefit from. Things would need to be pretty desperate for rally to be important. But Bakuto is like the diplomatic relations bonus is not super useful either. Early game, I guess I might be able to get better trade deals out of it, a bit more money. They're both really bad, to be honest. But yeah, this is unfortunately totally random. You retain what retainers you get. There is a way to min-max it if you are willing to save scum, but and get better retainer options if you like keep reloading things. But man, I don't know. They're both so terrible. I guess since I don't think I'll be, I mean I probably will use in more dramatic circumstances. I might use the rally ability, and who knows, maybe that 20% effectiveness will actually be useful. I really doubt it though. It's really tough because they're both so average. I'm going to go with the Master Drama because at least it's useful in the battle, which seems more important to me. We got our Daimyo to level 2, so now we're going to get our next general to level 2 as well. Lost a few men there, in fact much more than I would have expected. 138, that's a bit of a shame, but whatever. We have time to replenish. Level up there for my other general. Let's hope he gets some better retainers. Let's see what we got. Okay, +1 defense for all spear infantry, not going to use that. +1 command when attacking on land. Okay, it gives some tiny little bonuses, that one, and I'm not going to use any spear infantry at all. So, I guess we're going to have to go with that one. What we're going to do next is, I think, recruit... Let me think, how many units do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17... no, we'll wait. I need to build some of these. Yeah, okay, that should be enough. So these guys are going to be content now without me needing to leave any garrison in here. You can see +3 to garrison, but we're +3. This will degrade, but it should degrade back to 0, and there won't be any rebellions here unless something goes wrong, but we should be okay for now. So what I'm going to do next is grab these troops and I'm going to send them in to Hyuga. Let's see if we can get in another fight with the Ito nice and early. I've spent all my money, I've got a Bokaboya queued up. I could actually recruit another spear unit, but I'm not sure about that. If I went like this, 1, 2, I'd be able to afford 4 Yari Yashigaru. I think I will do that. Although the upkeep cost is a bit higher, and I don't think I'll need that many troops. Yeah, actually, I'm going to stop with that. I'm going to build those 2 units. We're going to send these troops back, and we're going to go fight the Ito in their home province in Hyuga. We don't need too big an army. I think the troops we have should be enough once those new ones are recruited. And we need to save a bit of money because my upkeep's already getting a bit desperate. There is, like I said, a little gamey thing that you can do. I'm going to show you this. I don't want to make a habit of using this in my campaign, but if you go to any neighboring clan...
I will listen to your words for a time. Do not waste this chance I give to you.
Military access. Offer to give them 20 turns or less if you can manage it, but some military access. They're always interested in buying it off you. These guys are already at war with the Otomo. They're likely to be defeated by the Otomo. That usually is what happens. So making a diplomatic deal with them isn't a big deal because they probably... I won't have to wait to betray them or to wait for the deal to wear off. They're probably going to get wiped out anyway. So you can demand a payment from them. They might not give me 3,000. Let's say 2,000. They would give me 2,000. Let's say 2,440. Yep, we're still good. What about 2,660? Ooh, look at that. See, this gives you... It's a very gamey thing to do. Not quite that much. Alright, so they'll do 2,900. It's a very gamey thing to do to exploit this. I'm just going to do it once because I need a bit of extra cash at the beginning, and you guys may as well see how easy it is to... If you're unopposed to doing this gamey little thing, even on legendary difficulty it works where you can sell military access. Once you do send military access, they can send armies into your lands, and sometimes it's possible for them to betray you, but it's very unlikely. The problem with this is, obviously you've made a deal with them, a diplomatic deal, so for 20 turns I can't attack them. If I attack them or I cancel the deal or whatever, my daimyo will lose honor, and there'll be a diplomatic penalty. Sometimes it's just with them, but sometimes it'll be with other factions as well for not being honorable, not being trustworthy. So that means I won't be able to attack them without some pretty big negatives. But I expect these guys to probably be wiped out, so I won't have to worry too much. If they're not wiped out, then I'll get on a boat and bypass them and attack the Shoni, and since these guys are allies, they'll probably enter the war to defend the Shoni anyway, so I'm not too worried. You can see there. Alright, let's make that proposal. We get 2,900 monies to spend. And I'm going to use that to start upgrading my economic buildings. Build a market there, build a farm here. I do have some money left over, but I will, like I said, save it. It is tempting, though, to build another unit or two. I don't think I need it, though, is the thing. And then I combine these troops. I mean, it would mean the battle is super easy, but yeah, I just don't think I need it. I'm gonna keep it simple. Keep my army small. I'll probably be able to beat whatever these guys have anyway, so it's not a big deal. They've probably got an army marching my way anyway, so by the time I get to Hyuga, I probably will have wiped out their army somewhere here. Especially since my provinces, as far as they know, with my troops over here, undefended, so they might be tempted to come and attack, but my troops will be back, my big army will be back, and we can take them out nice and quick. Alright. I don't think there's anything left to do. Can't afford to build that. Ooh, actually, that is something I should do. Silly me. Alright, so, clan management. Since we're going to be spending quite a bit of money on buildings now, we want to change him to Commissioner for Development. And you can see he's now, instead of -2 to cost of constructing buildings, it's now -4, because he's got another level, which is useful. So, I think the most important thing is building a trade port. I'll do that. I can't afford the market, I can't afford farms, but that's okay. My capital province having a lot of money seems pretty useful, so we'll do that. And I think we shall leave it there for this turn. We'll see what happens next turn. We do have a bit of replenishing we need to do on some of these units, especially this one. Damn, that auto-resolve killed a bunch of units from one of the weakest, like one of my smallest, most damaged units already. Bit of a shame. Still researching the right things there, so that's all good.
Fast moving, this small ship carries archers, armed with deadly fire arrows, capable of reducing enemy ships to dust.
I tend to think bokoboyas are some of the most cost-effective ships. They're the earliest thing you can build, but once you upgrade them with fire arrows, once you get that way of the bow and you unlock fire arrows, a bunch of those guys firing arrows into a big ship a much more expensive ship will just destroy them straight up. Alright, we'll get these guys ready to march in here. In fact, I will actually leave them so that they can get some extra replenishment. I don't think it makes a difference whether I'm here or here. What do we think? Can we still make it in 2 turns? I think we can. Oh, actually, it would be close. Maybe I should move my guys up to the border. Yeah, I will move them up to the border, but still in my territory. It means they'll have slightly less replenishment outside of the fort, but I want to make sure that they'll be able to reach Hyuga in 2 turns. Alright, we've got our first ship, so let's go send him here and see if we can grab that trade port. We will construct another ship there. Get some construction going over here as well. Farm over there. Next ship I build, I'll send here, because by this point the Otomo or the Chosokabe, they might send a ship over this direction. Probably the Otomo, since they even start with a ship, and I don't want them taking this before me, even though I'm going to be at war with them soon, so I could always, even if they occupy this spot, I could just declare war on them and kick their ship out if I have a superior navy, but we'll try and capture that, and then the third ship I build I'll send here. Might even build a fourth, just so that I have 2 Bokaboya watching here or here, to make sure that we can't be overwhelmed by just like a single enemy ship showing up. Alrighty, I think we'll end turn there. Still nothing to research, nothing to do, spent all my money already. I have a bit left, but I'll leave that, because I don't need to recruit more troops just yet. Oh, we got some enemy troops coming in. Alright. We spotted them too. Oh, that is an unfortunately small army. Alrighty. Guess we're getting this sorted. Let's start this turn off destroying Ito Yoshisuke and his army. The Ito clan's daimyo having a showdown at our border. We'll jump in, finish this army off, and then march straight for their capital and take it for ourselves, or turn it into a vassal. I'll decide when I get there, I guess. I am tempted, I would usually just take it myself, but it's just a really bad province. It doesn't make a lot of money. It has a lot of public order problems, especially because next door to it is the Otomo province that will slowly convert it to Christianity, and so there's a lot of public order issues that come from Hyuga, from controlling Hyuga. So I kind of just want to leave it to the Ito as my vassals to deal with it. Start deployment. Alrighty. Let's chase these guys down. We'll turn these guys into loose formation. Get that Cloud Dragon formation going. They are going to probably go for this hill here, I would say. It's bigger than this. Oh no, actually, I don't know which hill the AI will prefer. If I was choosing, I would choose the trees. Yeah, there we go. This is good, because I have a decent amount of ranged units, and mine are in loose formation. The AI doesn't seem to ever really put their units in loose formation. Very rarely, I think. Lots of tree cover, so the missile units won't be super important. 2 generals. Okay. I should really, actually, take these guys out of the group formation. I'm gonna put these 2 a bit further back as a reserve and have my stronger units do the main fighting, so that hopefully these guys can stop any flanks, but also avoid taking too many casualties, so they won't have to take as many turns to recover and replenish. Meanwhile, these guys can afford to lose. I mean, this guy as well is a bit low. But shift 3. Want them to be in Yari wall before we engage the enemy. Alright. We'll bring these guys up right near them. My general can also bring his butt up here. Oh, actually, we don't want him that close. Alright, we're actually engaging at a bit of an angle, which is not ideal, but that's okay. We still have the numbers. And I think we might be able to get some flanks, some funny angles here. They're already routing. Good news. Oh, look at that, already broken. Let's get these guys chasing them off the field. And then we'll move these guys in here. We don't even have all our men engaged. A bit silly of me, but that's okay. Move them up. Trees are such a pain in the butt though, because you can't really see what's going on. Are they dead yet? There we go, shattered. Okay, we don't need to chase them anymore. Bring these guys back in here. Let's keep moving our troops forward. Oh, that's weird. How did that happen? Had them through our ranks. We have taken some pretty bad casualties in our center, which is a bit unfortunate, but that's okay. However, we have a lot of troops on this flank here that aren't even fighting, so I need to bring them up, charge them in. They routed everything pretty quickly. We do have some of the enemy returning, but ooh, gotta pull our general back a little bit.
My lord, their general has fallen.
It's their general down, and that should be the break. There we go. The army's shattered. We'll just chase a little bit. Continue. Just long enough to kill a few units here. Cool. We'll leave some survivors. I only heard one, their general has fallen, but I think they had two generals, so there may have been a general that survived there, but it's obviously pretty hard to see in the woods with all the chaos. But yeah, we'll see what happens. What survived this battle, and if we have a second follow-up battle just to finish them off. Ooh, that's not ideal. In this game, part of the reason this is such a difficult game is that there's this fame bar, and when it hits 100, then half of Japan will declare war on you. Or basically all of Japan, apart from obviously the land that you control. And this goes up every time you capture a province, or you get a really impressive victory, like a heroic victory, or there's a ton of casualties or whatever. Then you'll get a little boost to this bar. So getting a statue like this means you've gotten a good battle, but that's really not ideal, because it means that you'll have to that bar gets a bit bigger, a bit closer to being full, and then you've got problems on your doorstep a little bit faster. It means you can take less land before you get to that realm divide point when half of Japan goes crazy and gets up in your grill. Looks like I'm actually gonna need another turn to get over there because of going off-road there, but I couldn't leave those troops alive. So I'm actually going to need another turn to capture Hyuga, but that's okay. Once we capture it, we'll start heading back towards our own lands. Alright, we got our next ship built. Send that over there. Send this guy over here to grab that. Recruit our next ship. We don't have quite enough money to build the market here yet, so I'll have to leave that. Wonder which way the Otomo ship is going. He might take that from me, but in that case I'll just have to send him down here. Means I only get two trade nodes, and they're both going to be incense, the same resource. Not ideal, but no big deal either. Because I will, like I said, probably be at war with the Otomo very soon. They didn't manage to defeat the Sagara though, which makes me a bit concerned, but I'd rather have to declare war on the Otomo here and start marching up this direction than having to go all the way around or go through Bungo, but we'll see what happens. Nothing else to talk about here, so I think we're going to end the turn there. And I think we'll also end the episode there. So thanks for joining me for episode 2 of the Shimazu Legendary campaign on Total War Shogun 2. Hopefully, we'll see how things lay out, but hopefully we'll be at war and grabbing Higo within the next episode. And I will see you guys in the next one. Like and subscribe. I appreciate any support and comments, so keep that up for me, guys. And thanks for watching.